Hello, everybody. Happy December. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy all the December Christmas vibes. If you're new to my channel, oh my God. Thank you for stopping by. I'm literally honored. If you enjoy anything food related, I would say give me a subscribe because you'll probably like it. I got a little Christmas makeup on. I got some Christmas nails going on. Got my little Christmas sweatshirt. We got some decorations, some decor. Typically, I post food reviews, crazy car lunches, the occasional recipe. But if you're on this playlist, this is history that ate. I'm gonna tell you an interesting, weird, crazy story about food throughout history. Some that ate and some that most certainly did not eat. This is a new series for me. I only have 2 other episodes, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't know, what do you guys think? You can let me know that you like it by liking the video, and you know what? You can share it with a friend. That always helps. You can go in the comments and maybe suggest. You can go in the comments and suggest any other crazy food stories you might know of that I should cover. Today's tale, legend, if you will, is about how one man made this mission his bitch. He wanted to spread the utter joy of a particular crispy, crunchy, juicy food item, my personal favorite. He wanted to sweep it across Japan, and in doing so, he created a national phenomenon within this country that still to this day, 3.6 million families in Japan enjoy this tradition every Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Kentucky for Christmas, baby. Now, if you're not familiar with what that is, basically it's a tradition in Japan to eat KFC on Christmas Day. 99% of this country is not even Christian. Not that you have to be Christian to celebrate Christmas, but most people celebrate it for that reason. I feel like I need to get a bite before I get going. Yeah, but Japan said, you know what? Hold my beer. We want to be a part of this bullshit too. So hop in your time machines, put on your bell bottoms and your afros, because this starts way back in 1970. And I doubt that Japanese people were wearing afros. You never know. Enter the chat, Mr. Tekashi Okawara. Handsome little fella. You clever dog, you. In his 20s, he earned a degree in advanced management from Harvard Business School in the United States. So Tekashi was a well-traveled young man. He didn't just stay in Japan. He was all over. But he was like, meh, this shit is mid as fuck. I need something else. I gotta do something else. At the time, KFC had a very successful trial run at the World's Fair in Osaka, Japan in 1970. Picture it kind of like a pop-up location at a carnival. Long story short, Tekashi ended up teaming up with them, and they were like, we like you, we love you, beautiful, you're amazing, you got tenacity, you got balls. So they opened the very first brick and mortar, very first KFC in Japan, and they asked Tekashi to manage it. At some point or another, Tekashi actually went back to the United States to visit the very first KFC, which is in Kentucky, obviously. He got so inspired by Colonel Sanders, and yes, Colonel Sanders was a real person. His name was Harlan David Sanders. This is him at age 24, looking very dapper, very handsome young man. And this is him as we know him today, the iconic white suit, the white hair, the glasses, the most precious, adorable grandpa that ever lived. Like, I hope nothing bad ever comes out about this man, like he was a perv or something, because I would cry. He's the most sweet, innocent looking soul, like just giving the world fried chicken. So back to Tekashi. He was fascinated by Colonel Sanders and the fact that his whole life he had jumped around from job to job, and he didn't franchise KFC until he was in his 60s. He was an old man, and he was like, boom, I'm a millionaire. And being in your 60s, some countries would just write you off. They would be like, oh, you're done. You know, you're old. Like, sit down, grandpa, before you break a hip. But Tekashi, he was eager, he was excited, he was ready to start this journey, being the new manager at the very first KFC in Japan. He was ready to go all in, and he wanted to start from the bottom up. He wanted to learn everything there was to know about frying some chicken. Speaking of, let me get another bite here. I can't have fried chicken without hot sauce. We got my favorite hot sauce, my fictitious husband, Mr. Texas Pete. I gotta have some hot sauce on my fried chicken. I don't know about y'all. Come on, baby, come out. Don't be shy. There we go. Gotta get it on up in there. But yeah, Tekashi was like, let's go. Let's springboard some fried chicken into Japan. That looked wrong. I didn't mean that. After a while, he was like, where are the people? Show me the people. Do you see people? No one was coming in for months. It was a ghost town. Look at these beautiful fries. But the locals, they were confused. They were like, what is this place? With the red and white stripes? Is it a barbershop? Is it a candy store? Like, what is this? And a lot of the signs, they were in English. So again, the locals were like, the hell, I can't read that. No, we're not going in there. Sketchy, sketchy. So it just really wasn't taken off in the beginning. Also, the word fried chicken wasn't really used. Like, I'm sure there was some similar method of deep frying meat. But as far as like classic fried chicken, Japanese people didn't really like put the two and two together. And it did not get any better for poor Tekashi. He had no extra money. He couldn't afford rent for an apartment. He damn sure couldn't afford like a mortgage on a house. So he ended up just sleeping in the store. And that's literally verbatim. He said that in an interview. And I'm not very sure in this interview if he had a significant other at the time, because he said we slept on flour sacks. So I don't know if the we meant, you know, a wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, or if it meant a coworker. But basically they would stack up flour sacks into like a makeshift bed and they would sleep on that. That sounds miserable. You gotta be in this fried chicken smell all day and then you gotta sleep in it all night. I bet they stank. Of course you gotta get the gravy. I got some gravy. I'm gonna try dipping the chicken in the gravy. I've never done that, but I feel like, who does it? Jollibee, the Philippines, they dip their chicken in the gravy. Let me get a new one. Don't worry, I'm gonna finish that one. But you gotta get a fresh bite. Let's dip it in the gravy. See how this is. Yeah, I've never done that before because I didn't think I would like it. Oh, that is so good. I'm gonna run out of battery just eating this chicken. Oh, that was the underrated pro move. I did not think that was gonna be so good. That was delicious. Their gravy, so good. So Tekashi starts racking his brain. He's like, come on, we gotta make this work. I can't go back to the paper company. I already quit that. KFC is relying on me. You know, they liked me. They said I had balls. They said I had tenacity. I gotta go for it. He's like, you're creative. Come on, you're an entrepreneur. Let's figure this out. He starts trying to come up with different ideas. He really wants to play up the word Kentucky because remember, he's been to the States, okay? He graduated from Harvard Business School. He's been to Kentucky to visit the real first original KFC. He's seen the rolling hills, the beautiful countryside. He's seen all that. So he kind of wants to use that as inspiration. He wants you to be like, yes, I can taste the country farm fresh chicken. Here's an example of one of their commercials. Put on your bonnets and your knickers, hike them up because we about to go to Little House on the Prairie. The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. この豊かなる大地、ケンタッキー。ケンタッキー。リンカーンの正義を生み、ポスターの市場を育み、そしてカーネル・サンダースの誰にも真似のできない美味しさを生んだ手作りの心を込めてケンタッキーフライドチキン Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love their accent. I've got crumbs on the mic. So he's really sticking with this like all-American vibe. Come Christmas time, he puts Santa costumes on the Colonel statues in the store. But then one day he had an idea. It hit him. It just went Kentucky for Christmas. And it's genius because Japanese people don't really celebrate Christmas the way we do. As far as like, Jesus, sweet baby Jesus and your golden diapers. So essentially he starts to slowly create this whole new tradition for Japanese families. They could come together and celebrate the holidays with their families with good food, kind of the same way Americans did, but you know, in their own way. Plus bonus for him, you go to his store and buy all his chicken. So in 1974, just 4 years later, like it was a rough start, but just 4 years to take off is pretty good. Kentucky for Christmas was officially developed and marketed, and KFC dumped millions into ads and commercials. And you guys, you gotta see these commercials. I got a couple of examples. They're so fun and festive, and like it literally makes you want to be a part of this tradition with them. Oh, I forgot to mention, so this is America's theme this year, I guess. I don't love it. I'm not sure why. I don't know. It kind of feels like maybe it's a throwback to maybe like the 60s or the 50s. The characters look really old school, so maybe it's like a throwback. Oh, there's a name on it. Yee Weller? I don't know who Yee Weller is, but it looks like there's a name right there. So maybe he is like the inspiration behind the cartoons. But it's okay. So yes, we call these buckets. Tekashi called them party barrels, which I kind of like better. Here is some replicas from buckets from the past. This one with the ornament is from 1966. The one in the middle is from 1971. And then this one on the end is 2020. They're cute. I like the one with the ornament. It's very like Norman Rockwell classic Christmas look. So they evolve through the years, and eventually it becomes like a tiered bucket, more like the barrel, the classic barrel. So you have these different layers and you get everything. You get your chicken, of course, you get sides, you get desserts. There's a different new dessert every year, and you get a special holiday collectible plate. So that looks like a blast in a bucket. I like it. That's so cute. Love the whole idea. You go in, grab your bucket, boom. You got your whole holiday in one container. Honestly, this is really smart marketing. I love it. So this screenshot is from the japankfc.com. This is the current 2024 bucket. Very cute, very festive. I love it. There is champagne in the photo, but you don't actually get the champagne. But fun fact, back in the 1970s, you did. You got all your sides and it came with champagne. If anyone can translate this, can you let me know what this says? Because I have no clue. I could speculate, you know, obviously you got the fried chicken. This little side in the brown dish kind of looks like maybe a scalloped potato, or it could be like a baked mac and cheese. I'm not sure. You guys let me know in the comments if you know, and I'll pin it. And then the dessert kind of looks like maybe a white chocolate cheesecake. I'm not sure. I mean, it looks good either way. And then you got some prices. Again, sorry, I don't know what this says. So Tekashi starts gaining a lot of attention. He even gained the attention of a Japanese public broadcaster, NHK, and they wanted to interview him. Some people debate whether this interview was the moment that really springboarded KFC in Japan, or if Tekashi coming up with the slogan, Kentucky for Christmas, was the springboard. But either way, they had a very important question to ask him. Before I tell you what they asked him and what his response is, let me read a quote. I got this quote from DannyWithLove.com. He did, the same research. And Ted Besser is the one who said this. He is a professor of social anthropology at Harvard University. And he said after World War II, people had the cash to indulge in consumer culture for the first time. And since the US was a cultural powerhouse at the time, there was a huge interest in Western fashion, Western food, trips overseas. Japan was really opening up. So that kind of lends itself to why Tekashi answered this question the way he did. He was like, opportunity comes a knocking, and I'm going to carpe motherfucking diem. In this interview, very iconic interview, they asked him if it was tradition to eat KFC on Christmas in America. Now, mind you, again, he's been to America. He knows. He's lived there. He knows people aren't usually eating KFC on Christmas. Most people are making like elaborate table spreads, home-cooked meals, inviting the family over. You got the turkey, or you got ham, or you got both. He knows this, but he was like, excuse me, Tekashi. Is it tradition to eat KFC in America on Christmas? Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. It's just a little white lie though. Like, I probably would have did the same, you know? It's not that bad. Let me get down on this mac and cheese. But it pays off. It really does pay off. It starts to catch on. Very like gimmicky, American. Oh, let's do what the Americans do. Eventually, people are obsessed. They love the idea. They love the trend. People love the idea of doing this all-American thing on the same day as Americans, eating the same thing, doing the same thing. It's kind of like a collective soul spirit of unity to food and holiday celebrations. And all you have to do is order a bucket of chicken. Over the next 4 decades, the Colonel himself becomes this like iconic figure. Everybody in Japan knows the Colonel. The Colonel was more popular than American celebrities. He was more recognizable and more popular than presidents. In fact, he was top 3 most famous American in Japan at the time. Here's some more commercials that shows you KFC. They knew this was a fantastic idea and it was really going to take KFC in Japan to another level.
Kentucky Christmas. みんな待ってるケンタッキー。ミレニアムクリスマスはケンタッキーのパーティーバーレルで。もう予約した？ケンタッキークリスマス。みんな待ってるケンタッキー。ミレニアムクリスマスはケンタッキーのパーティーバーレルで。もう予約した？ケンタッキークリスマス。一番あったかい日になりますように。クリスマスはケンタッキーのパーティーバーレルで。ケンタッキークリスマス。幸せは予約できます。クリスマスはケンタッキーのパーティーバーレルで。ケンタッキークリスマス。
And the coolest part is people grew up seeing Colonel Sanders in his classic white suit, white hair, white beard. And then on Christmas, that was the only time that he wore something different. He would transform into this red, jolly costume, a cape, if you will, like a superhero. So people, as young children in the 70s and 80s growing up, they eventually began to just refer to him as Santa or sometimes Uncle. So like during the rest of the year, he could be Uncle, but during Christmas, he was Santa, which is so, isn't that just precious? It's just precious how that evolved. And he deserves it. Grandpa Colonel Sanders deserves all of this. He just seems like such a genuine sweet soul. I really hope that nothing comes out otherwise. Tekashi eventually becomes vice president for Kentucky Fried Chicken International for North Asia and served as president and CEO of Kentucky Fried Chicken Japan from 1984 to 2002. Today, Christmas is the most profitable holiday for KFC Japan, so much so that the profits from their holiday party barrels makes up 1/3 of their annual sales. The holiday party barrels are in such high demand in Japan that you can pre-order them starting in October, and you get special discounts if you do pre-order. What a great, wholesome, like literally just such a wholesome story. On that note, take a look at this beautiful breasticle. If you enjoyed this video of history that ate, I have 2 other ones. There's one here, there's one there. You know, give them a watch and let me know what you think. And for shits and gigs, give me a subscribe.